Grammy's Journey. This is part 2 of my vlogs, part 2. And today I said I was going to talk on abusive relationships, right? Now, I am not a professional, even though I got my education on this, terms or whatever. No, not professional. What I'm talking about is personal experience, what I went through. And I want you guys to understand that. That is why I'm sharing this. The reason why I'm sharing this is because I want to help those out there that get a little bit more understanding. And if anybody out there needs any help, hey, maybe this will help them, okay? All right. Once again, my name is Gracie, and this is Grammy's Journey and more, okay? This is my channel, and I chose to choose what I wanted to speak on. My main thing is budgeting and savings because I love this community. The community is awesome, and but I wanted to put other things into my channel, right? So today we are going to be talking of abusive relationship, which can be any kind of relationship. It could be anybody, guys. It could be a boyfriend. It could be your parents. It could be your friends. It could be your siblings. It could be anybody, your employer. Anybody can be abusive to you. There's a lot of persons that have gone through abuse themselves, and they turn out to be in the same way, which is sad, right? But let me describe abusive relationships so you guys can understand. Abusive relationship involves patterns of behavior where one person seeks to control, dominate, or harm other. Abuse can take many forms, including physical, emotional, sexual, financial, and psychological, which is so true. What I'm going to be talking about today is going to be about my own experience, what I went through with my abusive partner, and the reason why I stayed in this relationship, right? Mentality wise, I was so naive and I was not thinking right. Now, I have always been abused somehow since I was a little girl. I was raised by my father, but my father was hardly ever at the home. So it was just me and my other 7 siblings. But my mother was very abusive, guys. Very abusive. Physically, emotional, verbally. When somebody abuses you verbally, you grow up, especially being such a tiny, such a young little kid, you grow up thinking, maybe that's me. Maybe it's true, right? That is why it's so hard. I'm sorry, guys. It's so hard to grow out of that, guys. And you grow into thinking and believing things that are not true about you. My self-esteem was so low because I always believed I'm ugly. I'm ugly. I'm fat. I'm this. I'm that. Because that's what I always heard. That's what they were always call me. Even at school, guys. Even at school, I was bullied very, very much. So, where I just throughout my teenage years, I was always looking for somebody that would, the love in the wrong places, how they say. First person that told me he loved me, well, I fell over heels for him. And I did love him. He was good. He was never abusive to me. But we were young. We didn't know, we didn't know what we were into. We were just 16 years old, both of us. And we let our emotions run too. And so what? I ended up getting pregnant from my 2 boys. One, my first baby, like I had told you guys, passed away at 6 months. And my second one is my eldest son now. Like I said, he was the love of my life. I really, really fell over heels for him. Loved him. Up to now, I can still say he will always be the first love that I had. But we parted. We went our own ways. He ended up getting married. I ended up over here going to school, concentrating on my life, raising my child. And when I was going to college, that is where I met my abusive relationship. At the beginning, I didn't know. He was showing totally something different of what he really was. Because you guys all know sometimes they hide, right? They need to hide behind something because if not, they know that nobody's going to want to be with them. And so I ended up, okay, giving him a chance. At first I couldn't stand him, right? But I ended up giving him a chance. And I said, all right. Why? Because I still love the other one. I still have feelings for the other one. But I needed somebody. I needed to be loved. I needed to have somebody. I guess I was just going on my own selfishness of being lonely and wanting somebody, right? Let's just talk the truth about this. That's how I felt. And to come to realize, I got together with him, started living with him, started a relationship with him. At the beginning, everything was good and everything, but all of a sudden, he starts getting verbally abusive. He started getting controlling, and I go, what? I couldn't understand what was going on. I never had gone through nothing like that. Never. Not even my dad ever laid hands on me. My mom, on the other hand, did. But hey, we all grew up thinking that was probably the way she wanted to raise us, right? So I ended up, maybe because I was abused when I was younger, I thought it was going to be okay, but then I would see things and I would say, you're not my father. Why are you yelling at me? My father never laid a hand on me. Why are you doing these things to me? I didn't understand why he was doing it. And then all of a sudden he started pushing me around. He started doing this and doing that. And I said, oops, what did I get into, right? It continued. Because I let him control me, guys. That was the worst thing I ever did. Because I had to stay in that relationship. I was scared. I was like, he was like a dominating person, really. It was like I had some kind of spell over me, like a control over me that I couldn't break. I was so miserable, so miserable in this relationship. I didn't know how to get out of it. So what did I do? At the end, I was so tired of living like this, guys. I just said, no, that's it. I cannot take this no more. Because it was just physical abuse all the time, verbally, mentally. Who's going to want you? Nobody's going to want you. You already have kids and this and that. And trying to put me down all the time. You don't have nowhere to go, this and that. Your parents don't want you there. Which was true because my parents said, you leave with him, you don't have parents no more. And that stayed in my head. So what did I do? Where do I go? Where do I go? Finally, at the end, I just say, you know what? I'm leaving. I called the hotline, where you go get help if you're in a situation that you need to get out. So I did. I went to my neighbors without him knowing. I went to my neighbors. He had left, so I went to my neighbors and I called that hotline. And then she goes, call a taxi. Just get whatever you can, the most important things you can, and leave. So that's what I did. Got my baby. My baby was 3 months old. My baby girl, and my son was 4. So I said, all right, let's go. My other son, which was 8, he had already, my mom had came pick him up, which is my eldest, my eldest son. So he was where my mom was at. That's where I wanted to go. So I went, I took the taxi, and when we got into the taxi, he came, and he was yelling, he was telling me, I said, come over here, mijo. Where are you going? Where are you going? And then I go, don't listen to him, get in the car. And then he would look at me, then he would look at him. I felt bad because of that, but you know what? My son said, no, I'm going with mommy. So he got in the car and the taxi, and we took off. We went to the shelter. I called my mom from there, and the next day my sister and her came. They picked me up, they took me home with them, and that's where my other son was at. And so we were there. Last time, guys. But in the end, guys, this is what I'm saying. I know it's hard sometimes because you get so used to this person where they control you, they lie to you, they manipulate. That was his way of doing things. I didn't want to talk to him. I didn't want to hear him. He would call me. I would hang up. I'd tell my mom, don't answer his calls. If he called, tell him I'm not here, whatever. My friend, where I used to work, she knew him. And so he started calling her because I wouldn't answer, I said, tell her, please tell her to answer my calls. I have a good job. And she was like, he started crying. He didn't, and she felt sorry. But that was his way of manipulating. So then I ended up getting his call. Worst mistake, guys. Worst mistake. Don't ever fall for that, because I did. After that, I did go back. But after that, I was not the same. I could not be there no more. I was not comfortable. And I was not going to keep my children in that relationship. What did I do? At the end, I just took off again, got my children, came back over here. That was the last time I ever talked to him. I started doing my own life. He wanted to go to rehab. All of a sudden, he wanted to go to rehab, but he did live over there, stayed in LA. He was doing his own thing, getting worse and worse into what he was doing, which was substance abuse and alcohol. And so at the end, he was all messed up and health-wise because he gave up on himself, right? Cut the story short, I am here. He's no longer here. He went home. He went at a young age, and I stayed with my children. I raised them. I've always been an independent person, so I had to provide for my children. Now, thank God, they're adults. They take care of themselves. But I am so happy that I'm able to talk about it now, because before I was not, guys. I had to go to therapy. That's why therapy is such a good thing, guys. I had to go to therapy so that I could heal of everything I went through, because I don't want to be too graphic about things. I cannot talk about what I experienced. But I know that you guys that are going through the same thing know what I'm talking about. And so, yeah, guys, it's very hard. It is very hard to how do you say, break those chains. But you have to, in order for you to have your mindset straight, your mind thinking right, your problems are for you to breathe right. You have to cut those chains. You have to break them, guys. You have to leave. There's not going to be no other way, because if you stay, like many of women that stay, what happens? They're no longer here with us, right? Because it gets to that point. It does. So, guys, I'm just saying, if you guys are in any relationship, it could be a partner, friend, siblings, like I said, boss, whatever, get help. Go to professionals, get help. Therapy, call shelters, anything that you can go and get help from, that's going to help you guys a lot. It will. It'll help you. They will help you. Like I said, I did go to a shelter. They helped me get out of that. They gave me everything I needed. They gave me a place to sleep with me and my children. So you guys can get help. At one point I used to think, why am I going to leave? Why am I going to take my children away from him? That's the father. Well, what kind of father was he, right? But like I said, I was naive. I wasn't thinking straight. And because I was hurting my children. At the same time, I was hurting. And they grew up thinking they saw things that they should have never seen, because I was so scared of leaving, and I was not thinking right. I had to put them first. You always have to put your children first, no matter what. They even lay a hand on them, you leave. You stop it. You defend them. Because with my oldest, when I was with him, that wasn't his father, right? But when I was with him, he tried to lay hands on my child. I stepped into it. I got the beating because, like I said, he was abusive. But I did not. I would fight with him and tell him, no, you don't lay hands. That's me to do. I'm his mother. You're not. You know, and because I knew he was abusive, guys, I was not going to let that happen to my child. At that day, I did call for help. They came, but he left and he ran and he hit. Guys, wow, I went through a lot with this person. And, you know, it's something that we don't have to go through it if we could avoid it. And I know that sometimes you don't know the person, right? But check out for red flags, guys. When you're in a relationship, you start a new relationship, please always check and see who you're getting involved with. Even if you have to do a background check or whatever, you do it. Because nowadays you have to, right? You have to, because you don't know. It's scary, and maybe it's going to get them irritated, but if they really are interested, they're really good person, they're not going to care. Do whatever you have to do. You know, check out this, get to know their family, everything, guys, before you even get into a serious relationship with a person that you don't know. If I would have done that at the beginning, I probably would never have gone through that relationship, but I didn't. I was vulnerable at the time. I was vulnerable because I was still in love with that person, my first love, and I just was looking for love in the wrong places. And I made a big mistake of getting involved with this person. And that's what happened, right? But thank God I am still here. That's what I'm saying, guys. Please, all those young women out there, guys, because I know a lot of them here in where I live, this community, there's so many young girls are involved with either older guys that are very abusive to them, but they're scared to leave because they get threatened that they're going to go do this to their family, they're going to do that to them, and that is why they're being controlled, they're being manipulated, they're being lied to, okay? Because there is help out there, guys. There is help. All you have to do is go get help. Get out of the relationship before it's too late. Just praying and asking you guys to really, really think about where you're at, okay? You're not alone. You're not alone. Don't think you're alone. And don't think that you are not going to be loved. You're not going to be by no one else. No, yes, you guys will. This is just a way of them manipulating you and controlling you. And so, that's it, guys. That's it for today. My part 2 on my vlogs. And I'll share what I went through, other things with my life now that I'm here, I'm still here, how I lost my first child, all that. I will be talking about that on my next vlog. That one is kind of hard for me, but hey, I know you guys are there, and I know you guys will understand if Gracie does start crying, because it is very hard for me still, okay, to talk about it. But I want to share it because I know that now I am good, I'm at peace. I know my baby is an angel up there watching over me. Okay, so God bless all of you guys, and I'll see you guys on my next journey. Don't forget, live today, 3:30 p.m. Pacific and 6:30 p.m. Eastern. See you guys. Love you. Bye.